Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to my kitchen, where we bring Middle Eastern cooking to America. In today's show, I'll be making Tepsi El Samak, baked fish fillet with tomato sauce, curry, sauteed onion, parsley, pomegranate syrup, and noomi basra. With that, I'll be making Riz Bil Shaaria. It's rice with noodles. For dessert, I'll be making Maamool, heavenly cookies made from semolina and rose water, filled with pistachio. We will start off by making the Maamool. For this recipe, I have 2 sticks, 1 cup of unsalted butter melted in a glass bowl. To this, I will add 3 cups of semolina flour. Semolina flour is a granular flour made from wheat. It's actually hard wheat, a special kind of wheat with the germ and bran removed from it. It's yellow in color, it's granule, and many times it's used for savory dishes or sweet dishes. And you can find it in Middle Eastern stores or sometimes even in the international aisle in many supermarkets. A lot of the times is used to sprinkle over work surface to prevent dough from sticking on the board. And these are gonna be really beautiful cookies. They're heavenly beautiful, they're crunchy, and with the pistachio stuffing, they will be amazing. We will blend the butter and the semolina flour until well incorporated. This looks good. We want to make sure all the butter is saturated in the semolina flour for about 1 hour. Leave it to room temperature for 1 hour. Our semolina butter mixture has been sitting for 1 hour. Looks beautiful. It's nicely blended together, and the semolina flour is all saturated in the butter. To this, I will add ½ cup of all-purpose flour. You see, this cookie dough has only few ingredients and ½ cup of rose water. And I will mix everything together to form a soft dough. It's gonna be granule, but it's gonna be nice and pliable. Once we take a piece of this mixture and just press it like that, and it forms into a soft dough, you know it's ready. So this looks great now. We'll let it sit on the side for a few minutes. Now we will prepare the filling for the cookies. Of course, we're using ground pistachios. I need 1½ cups of ground pistachios. That goes in the bowl. And 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And about 2 to 3 tablespoons of rose water. Rose water, or my word, it's liquid, fragrant liquid distilled from rose petals, and it's used for sweet or savory dishes. And you find it in many actually supermarket stores in the international aisles, or of course in the Middle Eastern stores. It's really a nice thing to have, you know, to probably flavor a syrup for the baklava, or even to flavor some cakes, and it's really great thing to have at home. And it always smells so good and gives a unique flavor for the filling that we are using. And now we are ready to make our cookies, actually to stuff our cookies. So I will take about portion of the dough, the size of a walnut or so, form it nicely, and then open it into a disc, just like that. Take about 1 teaspoon of filling, place it in the center, bring the dough up the filling, and make sure all the seams are closed, just like that. And place it in an ice cream scoop, seam side up, and try to smooth it out, and then just tap out, and it comes out like that. That's if you don't have a mold. When using a mold like this, it gives you this beautiful design, and it almost works like this, but it will have this beautiful design, and of course traditional for making the maamool. And these are available in many Middle Eastern stores. It's really a great investment to have in your kitchen if you're making many cookies that requires you to use molds. I have this, my mom gave me this. It's like probably 4 years old, and you keep it forever, and I love the design. So in this case, what I would do is I will take the same cookie and just place it in this mold firmly against the design and tap out, and look how beautiful it looks with all these designs. Place it on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Look how beautiful this dough is. It's nice and pliable, and of course using the semolina flour, it's gonna be nice and crunchy. And of course the rose water is amazing with this. A real nice combination of ingredients all together: the semolina, rose water, and pistachios. You notice that I left enough space in between the maamool. We want to make sure everything is going to be nicely cooked around. So we'll have our last one. Now our maamool is ready to go in the oven to bake. We'll bake the cookies in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, 350 degrees. We'll check on our cookies. Smells wonderful. And we don't want to cook them too much. They need to be pale yellow, just like that. So they look so beautiful and they smell amazing. We'll set them on the side to cool off. Our cookies are nice and cold to the touch. And now we will sprinkle each one of them with some powdered sugar. It's gonna make them even more sweet. Of course, it depends on how sweet you want them. You can add more or less of powdered sugar. Now we are ready to start cooking our tepsi. For this, before I start anything, I need to heat about 2 to 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. The oil is heated. Now to this, I will add 2 large onions that I coarsely chopped, or actually I sliced. We'll saute the onions until golden and caramelized almost. This will take about 30 to 35 minutes. Onion is nice and caramelized, and look how golden in color it is. To this, I will add 2 chopped tomatoes. Stir. Half teaspoon of curry powder or 1 teaspoon, depending on how spicy your curry is. Some salt, some black pepper to season, two tablespoons of vinegar, one tablespoon of pomegranate syrup, we'll stir. Make sure everything is nicely blended. Using the pomegranate syrup will balance out the vinegar. It's almost used instead of sugar. If you don't want to use pomegranate syrup, you want to add about 1 teaspoon of sugar to balance out the vinegar and the sourness of this sauce. But I love using the pomegranate syrup. It adds so much flavor and sweetness to the salsa. Now we add 1 bunch of chopped parsley. Half cup of water. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. We'll turn the heat down. Love this aroma of the curry with all these vegetables together. It's gonna be a wonderful salsa that goes on top of our fish. It's gonna add a lot to the flavor of the fish. And lastly, but not least, we will add about 1 teaspoon of noomi basra. Noomi basra is dried limes. It's almost brown in color or dark in color. You see all these lines here. It's usually boiled in salt water and sun-dried until almost dark brown or black. And they varied in size. Some of them are like about 1 inch, about 1 inch diameter to 1.5 inches in diameter. And they are used instead of using lime juice. So I'm breaking the noomi basra. You see how dark it is on the inside, and all the citrus aroma released from the fermenting of the drying of the limes in the sun. So it smells amazing, and look how dark everything is. So what I would do is I just crush it like that. I'm using like half of it, the inside and the outside. And this will add so much flavor to our sauce. Just about half of it. If you like to use more, you can always use more. This is gonna add an amazing flavor to this. If you don't want to use noomi basra, you could substitute that with lime juice and lime zest. This will do the job. But I will love the flavor of the noomi basra. Now I have everything in there. What I would do is I turn the heat to low and we'll let it cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. We'll check on our salsa. We'll give it a quick stir. Smells amazing. I wish you can smell my kitchen. The aroma of the curry with the onion, with noomi basra, with all these vegetables together. It's amazing. We'll let it cook for 10 more minutes. In the meantime, I will prepare my fish. I'm using white fish. You can use any kind of fish fillets. I'm using white fish fillet here. I have about 2 pounds. So there is 2 large fillet in here. So I'm using 2 pounds of white fish fillet. What I would do is I will just sprinkle with some salt just to season. It's really easy to make this dish, and this will go in the oven to bake for 10 minutes. I have my oven preheated to 450 degrees. I'll bake the fish in the oven for 10 minutes. It's been baking in the oven for 20 minutes. Just wanna cook it halfway first. Look how beautiful. And we will set it over here. Our salsa, it's nice and thick. Look how thick the sauce is. Look how tender the onions are, and everything gets cooked through. Now this will go on top of the fish. Spread it evenly. And now we will finish cooking the fish in the oven for another 20 minutes. Fish has been cooking in the oven for 10 minutes. Just to give it extra design, I will just arrange slices of tomatoes on top. Just give it some nice design. Perfect. And we'll finish cooking for another 10 minutes. Now it's time for us to make the rice. I have 3 to 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil that I will heat in a saucepan like this. I have 2 cups of rice that I washed and soaked for about 15 to 20 minutes and drained all the water. The oil is nice and hot. I will add 1 cup of vermicelli noodles. Noodles are golden brown. To this, I will add the rice. Give it a quick stir. Make sure all the grains are coated with oil. Add 2 to 3 cups of water. I'm adding 3 cups in here. Some salt to season. We'll bring the mixture to a boil. Mixture is coming to a boil. We will turn the heat down to low to medium. Put the cover back and we'll cook it for 10 to 12 minutes. We'll check on the rice. We will fluff it up using the fork to prevent it from sticking. It smells amazing. And it's nice and tender. We will turn the heat off and we'll let it sit for a few minutes before serving it. We'll check on our fish. It's been in the oven for 35 minutes and sauce is nice and thick. It looks amazing. It smells wonderful too. We will set it on the side for a few minutes to cool off. Now, last thing, we will sprinkle some chopped parsley on top just to give it some more freshness and color. Looks amazing. Tastes so good. It's great with rice. That's how much time we have for today. In today's show, we made Tepsi El Samak, we made Riz Bil Shaaria, and we made Maamool. Thank you so much for coming to my kitchen and enjoy Middle Eastern cooking. You find all these recipes in my treasured Middle Eastern cookbook and many more. We see you next time with more exotic dishes from the Middle East. Welcome to my kitchen.